Welcome back to Granja Caimito and the Pedroche Valley of Andalusia, Spain. This time we continue grazing in our Pedroches A03, which happens to be the worst one. You will see us preparing a site for building a barn, and there's also some dog play, and you can see Sacagewea just being herself. It's a very interesting thing about how horses behave and what their body gestures actually mean. People can learn something from that. Very interesting. And then we can see what we are up to at the altiplano and how we use large ruminants to plant grass and create soil. We will also welcome a newborn calf. And you can see a little bit more of the altiplano, especially the back part of it. After the rest period, the cows are now back in A3. The area got filled up with straw as rough fodder. I think in the past I always said raw, but what I really meant was rough. So the straw fills their rumen, and of course it has a low nutritional value. That is why we have been giving them alfalfa pellets to compensate. And right now there is some grass here. It's not that much, but there is some grass and they go for it. And then they will compensate for volume by eating the rough fodder in the form of straw. Elsewhere, that gets passed through a grinder and is also fed to the cows, so it's not completely uncommon. And the purpose here of the straw is to turn this into biomass in the form of manure, and the rest will disintegrate, will break down by way of the natural processes. And we hope to restore this place with this technique. And I'm pretty sure the guys also distributed some seed so that we bring in some additional plants. And this little one here is curious because I'm standing here talking, and that's new to her. She has grown big already. And as I said, there is some forage, or else she would not be munching here. And every time it gets a little bit better. And this is a rather small paddock, so it's not the 5,000 square meters, it's maybe half of that. Which is why they are now bunched up a little bit more. And this idea with the straw also helps to make this old road disappear. You can still see where it was, but it's not exposed soil anymore, because now it's decomposing straw, and you can see where they stomped it and lifted it up a little bit. It does look different, it has a different color, and there are some plants also emerging. Let me try to scratch a bit. So it is not very deep, but underneath this is a much better color than it was before, because it's still compacted, but this over time should go away. And in there are also some plants coming up. But then of course they will now all be eaten mostly, but step by step. This is just the natural process of a herd coming in, and by tomorrow they will be gone. So right here we have some more progress. The pile of dirt that got flattened at the top is now basically giving us the reference how high we need to fill this up, and it's quite a bit. It doesn't look like it were the same elevation as there across where this pile of pipe is, but this here before me, basically there where the dog is, that is pretty much the same level. And of course it will rain and it will be compacted by its own weight, but in any case we are preparing this area to put a concrete slab here. Originally we wanted to build a wall and put some metal fencing on top of it to form this dog enclosure here, the same way as we did there where you can see the wall. But now that we know that here to the left we want to build a barn, we are using the wall of the barn as part of the dog enclosure, so that removes the need for fencing there and building this wall as a foundation for the fence. Makes things a little bit easier, and it's good that we held off. Now we have an opportunity to make it in a smarter way. And we have some happy dogs here. Each one has a pig head to play with. So little Oliver here can show you how it's done. And there's Schneemann. He has also his own. And there you can see Franz and Checker. This is Schneemann. He is also working on his pig head. You might spot he, same way as Oliver, has the ear divided because they were fighting and someone bit him in the ear, and now the lower part of the ear, of the right ear, so here to the left in the image, has a cut, and this won't heal. This will stay for life now. As you can see, she is much smaller, and she also has her own pig head. And if you are in front of her and she wants something, she puts up this very cute face. She knows how to do this. They all know how to play you. getting hot in the sun. Tonight we will have negative temperatures, so below freezing. We are expecting some -2, -3 centigrades. But right now, the sun is at the highest point. It is pretty warm. The wind is cold, so you need to wear a coat. But in direct sunlight, it feels like spring is coming. It will, but first we need to get over the low temperatures. And then by mid-February it should go upwards from there, and there will be no more freezing temperatures. Did you see that? That was a very clear sign. It means, hey, why don't you open this gate and let me in? So once more, we have some hungry and pushy mare who is trying to secure food for her little herd, and I will be providing that to them because it's going to be the upper part where we have the Polovnia trees that are now dormant. The horses will not damage them, or at least it's very unlikely. And the black one, Librada, is following us and waiting, while Sacagewea here has indicated, give me some food. I want to know where there is new gas. She even stomped with her hand, which to a horse means I want something or I don't like something. It's all context dependent. They do communicate, you just have to understand their language. And the other two are waiting there. They will soon follow once the situation here has changed. And what I need to do now is I need to open this so that it doesn't go in the upper area and I can close the lower part. Of course off camera because I need my hands. See? I am being told to hurry up. Yeah, and I will. So don't you worry. More horse language. Did you see what she did with her tail? She's upset. This is how a horse is investigating. Can I pass? Can I not? She does know that this wire potentially will hurt when she touches it. And she doesn't dare to do this. Well, she did try it, but the wire wasn't hot. But somehow she remembered that it could have hurt. The reason why I'm playing this game here is I know she is very pushy. And if she gets her way very, very often, then she will lose the respect for two-legged people. And then that becomes dangerous, or at least it could be. And the fact that I have not been able, time-wise, to actually work with them is also not very good. And I know from the time when I was riding her that she definitely needs a rider who knows what he or she is doing. So we need to make clear who's boss. And she is the one who is most likely to forget about that. And when a horse understands, okay, the human isn't boss, then I will take matters in my own hands, and then it becomes dangerous. Because they are flight animals, and then they will run. And they prefer to run and die running instead of taming themselves or doing what you want. So boundaries are very important. And this little game here is supposed to reinforce those boundaries. As you can see, she is the only one who is trying to be pushy and get in by force, no matter how, while everybody else is patiently waiting. They are very different characters. And this one wants to be boss, including with humans. If she doesn't get her way with the other horses, she might even go as far as kick them. Now, you as a human don't want to be kicked by a horse, because that could be fatal. So it is very important that the horse does respect you and never tries to run you over. I guess by now the message has been delivered and received, so I can now remove the string and let them all in. As always, the very confused gelding Solo hasn't figured out how to get in because he's so afraid of everything. So he is there in the animal lane. But I guess he will figure it out soon and come back down and find the entrance. This poor gelding continues to be afraid. I had to step away from the gate, and you saw how fast he then went in. That is what happens when a horse got mistreated. They might never overcome. We continue to feed them alfalfa pellets because there is not enough forage just yet, and I need to stress it is just yet. They are helping us to produce more forage, so this is a temporary thing. So to anyone who believes we should have less animal, no, it is just the contrary, and it's kind of counterintuitive, I understand, but according to the ideas behind holistic management, when you have a lot of animals, you have a lot of animal impact, and you need to manage them properly. Come in, do an intervention, trample, loosen up the soil with the hooves, poop, scratch, and give a reason to the grass to grow. And of course there needs to be something to get started with, but we do have this. And then more animals mean you will have more grass. So this is not a problem, this is the solution. But of course you need to let this sink in and really think it through. Because when you understand that grasses and ruminants have evolved together, more ruminants mean more grass. So it is not reduce and let the plants grow, it is increase to make more plants. And that is what we are trying to do, and it seems to be working. So this is something that might be new to some, but it does work, and I can see it. Also, we are not in this for a very long time like others have been. I also just found a new calf. It is a female calf, and now this is a great opportunity to know who the mother is, because she is drinking milk. So I need to get over there and read the earmark from the mother so that we can register her properly. Let's see if I can take you with me. This is the one that has an issue with their ear. So I think it's 5536. Yeah, it is 5536. So that was very positive. The last time she did not get pregnant. So that makes it 4 in total now. So there is this one, that one there, and there behind there is the other one that has a little bit a retinta look and feel. Well, look, not feel. So this one here, and the newest addition to our herd. In a few days she gets her own earmarks, and then there will probably be a lot more. So these two are from last year. And like I just said, it is all about increasing the size of the herd for more animal impact. And I fully understand that past teachings and thoughts and all this have said the contrary, but we subscribe to the idea of what Alan Savory says, and also a few other people. And that means more animals for higher animal impact, and therefore a faster restoration of our soil, in combination with this game that we play by putting out straw, seeding into it, And step by step we will then have areas developing by bringing in more nutrients. And these guys are who is bringing in the nutrients. Of course I could buy compost and plant like crazy, but that is very expensive in terms of money and labor. So instead of doing that, I just use what nature does. And nature has these guys. So that is what we are using. Can't have been long that 5536 gave birth. You can still see that the umbilical cord is still fresh, moist, and there's a little bit of blood on it. So probably an hour before I came up here that happened. But she drank milk, so the most important thing has happened. And she's walking and following the mother. I think that is always very important. There have been questions about what are we going to do up here, so let me try to answer this a little bit. So there where the Jeep is parked, the road that goes to the entrance of Zone C begins. So this is where the slope starts, a few meters behind the vehicle. And here to the right side, that is west. And we have the straw there to add biomass. There in the distance, you can spot the blue 3000 liter water tank that we put up there a little while ago. And you may spot also a sign. Let me zoom in for you to understand this better. So there's the water tank, and left to it there is a a white and black sign. That means over there you can hunt. So I have no idea how this really works, but I know what the sign means because somebody explained this to me a little while ago. So the area behind that fence is the neighbor who is an absent landowner and who has that tenant who has still not left, despite a court order that they have to leave by November 12th. The day came and went, and nothing has happened. And there are some legal motions going on. I'm not very informed, but they are still there, and after all, it's not my business at all. So that is west. And if I now pan back to the left side, I am now panning east. So behind the two cows there is a temporary fence. That is to exclude the area where the young oak trees are. So there you can see a few young oak trees. That is where we want to protect them and put up later some beehives in this area and some flowers. And if I now pan further to the east, you see there in the background the big pile of straw that we are going to use up step by step. And there in the distance, it's probably some 300 meters from where I stand, there is another fence that separates us from the neighbor to the east. I learned that this is also a tenant situation. So apparently the owner is an older gentleman who doesn't do much, and he has rented out to someone who runs some sheep. This person did reach out to us asking about a collaboration to repair a fence in order to keep wild boars out and all this. We have to follow up on this, but at least he came to the fence and introduced himself, not to me, to the guys, but it's perfectly fine. So we will follow up on this. And then what you see here is a fence that separates the altiplano to the right from the area that goes downhill here to the left. So if I move here, I can show you that. So here begins a slope, and it's like a funnel, and it goes down there, and that is the area that we will be working on next. Someone was asking about the false lavender. It's not really false lavender. It is some sort of lavender, but it's not a French one. There is a Spanish name for it, but I forgot it, sorry. But that is what is going there in the background. And we need to see how we play this. And you can also see that the grass here has grown because nobody had been grazing for a while. And despite the fact that it was cold and there was lack of moisture, it is resting since quite a while. So therefore we have some grass. But it also lacks nutrients. And when the cows come in there and we manage this, then this will improve. So now the plan for the upcoming week is that the guys will put up new fencing in this area here, still staying on top of the altiplano. So the altiplano goes from there where you see the fence line to the left, and it goes quite a bit in that direction before it then goes down somewhere around here. There you can see the slope starts. And I will now go in there and see what I will find. So there certainly will be a continuation of this. So I will now step through this and take you on a little walk. So I'm now on the other side, and as you can see, the cows believe they can follow me, but no, not yet. That is after the guys extended the area on Monday that they can do this. But what I wanted to show you here is, so there where the car is parked, the road comes up, and then the idea is to have the road go through here, so on that side of the tree, and then probably do a loop here, right there where my shadow is, and then go to the left and stay ahead of those stones, and then, I mean the stones in the foreground, not the ones where the sun is shining onto, and then go in a zigzag way down this little funnel. We don't intend to bring a truck down there, so it is okay if a light vehicle can go there. And this will be occasional to bring in some fence posts or other stuff like this, but not really a high traffic area. And then have paddocks left and right, and in order to stop the erosion there we use stones and vetiver and all that to stabilize the road and not allow the water to gain speed. Because getting wet is not a problem, the problem is gaining speed. And that is what we should be able to avoid. And this is an area that is poor because of the past, erosion. And so we can as well make this into a road. If you look very closely, here you can already see some tire tracks, because we have driven here a few times, but it has not turned bare soil yet, but it will when we use this frequently. And I think I will now go in that direction where the grass is greener to have another look for you guys onto the altiplano from the north part. So north is there, east is there, and obviously south is down there, and in my back there is west. So again, sorry that I have to cut it here, but it's really running very long. So please come back in a few days when this continues. There is a lot more to tell and show here on the Altiplano.